Hello and welcome. Today is Tuesday, the 22nd of October, 2024. And it's been a hell of a week. I'm going to go back a bit to the end of January because that was the deadline for basically winning the war against the snake. And we did it. However, it was clear that it was in its death rattles, I guess, since then. And I had some really cool things happen. On the 13th, on the Sunday the 13th, I was talking to a girlfriend of mine who we were just not talking anything woo woo. She grew up on property, on land, so she happened to bring up the subject of snakes. And then she said, even when you kill a snake, you need to know that the snake doesn't die until the sun goes down. And I went, what the fuck did you just say? And I went, thank you. I know that phrase is super, super important. And it'll make sense to me at some point. Yeah, apparently, even if you kill it during the day, it's not truly dead until the sun goes down and can still actually hurt you. I don't know what that means. I've not spent time around them in the physical. So that was on the Sunday, the 13th. And then on the Tuesday, the 16th, a few days later, in the morning, I was talking to our mate Yon. And as he does when we talk, he was sort of getting a read on me and he mentioned marigold. You need marigold. Okay. Then later that night, I got pulled into my little energetic dance and the dying snake presented itself. And I'm like, and I've never been with someone who's died like this, but when people are dying, you hear about the death rattle. I've only had my father die right in front of me, and that was just like a collapse, gone. Um, and it was like that's what it was going through. It was going through the death rattles, but it was appealing to me desperately for compassion and forgiveness and I was like, no, fuck you. You've asked the wrong chick. Mm-mm, not happening. And this went on for quite some time. It wasn't going to give up. And so energetically, I opened its mouth and I shoved a bunch of marigold flowers down there and then closed its mouth and held it shut until it swallowed. So that was the sun going down because marigold represents the sun and the energy of the sun and all of that. So that phrase, that line finally made sense. Um, 2 days later, on the 17th, we had that supermoon. And I had an energetic interaction with someone, and it said, look to Tuesday today for signs of the break, the snap. I'm like, the break and snap of what? Said the curse. I was like, what curse? And then he just went, that's enough now. Left me with it. Saturday, I told you it's been a hell of a week. Not many days off. Um, this was the big This was big. If you are in an original pair relationship, or you know you've met them, but you're not currently with them, or you have a knowing that they're out there somewhere, this might make sense to you more so. Uh, the curse that was referred to, that I was going to see the signs of the break for today, apparently. I haven't yet, but it's early. It was on the original pairs. It is what became that twisted twin flame um, inverted version. I'm not even sure yet still how to put all of this together in a way that makes sense. But this construct, this particular version of it that we're in, is this inversion thing, and it's duality. And the reason it's duality is because of a curse that was put on the original pairs to keep them in duality, and they are the template. Does that make sense? I hope so. That I've been saying for years, it always feels like the positive and the negative, the light and the dark, are neck and neck. And I only just kind of realized that's why. It was because it's duality and it's got to be balanced. The positive and negative has to be balanced. It's why when we have some sort of little financial windfall, the fridge, the toaster, and the vacuum cleaner all die. Or something goes wrong with the car, it sort of brings it back into balance, keeps you where you were. Or you meet the love of your life. You're in the throes of a really beautiful relationship and you're really happy, but work sucks. Or somebody in your family is giving you a hard time, whatever. So the good and the bad is always sort of maintained some sort of balance. And so the curse that I believe is snapping, breaking, being lifted is this one on the original pairs, keeping them in duality. And that is a fundamental template for this place. And this period that we've in October to March is is the rebalancing of that dynamic and that energy that it will no longer be neck and neck. We are now that again, I've been saying this for ages, but everything keeps taking on new meaning, that we will get to have the experience that we should have had here before we leave, that everything's just going to sort of get to that point where it just gets better and better. So the lifting of the curse feels like it'll no longer be neck and neck and balanced. We're undoing duality by just the more positive coming in and the negative not being able to match it, meet it. And it just goes like that. And it starts now. You may, for those of you who do have this original pair thing going on, you may actually be feeling it in your body. Like there's energy in there that sort of feels a little bit chaotic and rearranging, because it hasn't settled yet.